A few years ago, Bank PSB did an advert that ended with saying that one day cars will walk on water. Just yesterday, we saw or we've seen cars walking on water in Oshodi, Ikeja, Agigi, and other parts of Lagos Island. Good morning and welcome to Now Streaming. It is Thursday, July 4th, 2024, a day that marks the 248th anniversary of the United States Declaration of Independence. I'm your anchor this morning, Chukwe Bukaike. And with me in the studio is my co-anchor, Godwin Ujiri. Godwin, good morning.
Good morning, Ebuka, and a very good morning to our viewers out there.
Thank you. All right, joining us in the studio right away is Mr. Raphael Oja-Okomo. Mr. Raphael, good morning.
Good morning. Maybe after cars drive on water, we'll start seeing cars fly.
All right, Mr. Raphael is a social and sports commentator. All right, and joining us virtually from Delta State is Comrade Abraham Soko. Comrade Abraham, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ebuka. Thank you very much.
All right, Comrade Abraham is a political and sports analyst, and viewers will be looking at some trending stories. Then later we'll dive into the world of sports and look at the highlights from the Nigerian Presidential Cup finals, the current ongoing Euros 2024, and Copa America. All right, viewers, remember you can be part of this program by calling the numbers now showing on your screen, or sending your comments via various social media handles also showing on your screen. We shall be diving into the world of sports, and still your uncle, Chukwe Bukaike, and still with me in the studio is my co-uncle, Mr. Godwin Ujiri, and Mr. Raphael Oja-Okomo, who is a social and sports commentator. And we also have a Comrade Abraham Soko virtually. Comrade Abraham is a political and sports analyst. All right, last weekend, viewers, we saw the Nigerian Presidential Cup finals where El Kanami Warriors faced off Abia Warriors to be the champions of the Nigerian FA. So we will have we'll be giving you a few updates and highlights from also the 2024 Euros and the Copa games. We'll keep you updated on all the shots. But first, let's begin with the Punch Sports Extra newspaper. All right, so before me here, we have the latest story there. It says, "Here we go again." Punch Sports Extra says, on page 6, and the picture there, the pictures of Ekon Nwabali and another player. It says Eagles may face Bini and Lesotho in 2025. All right, that's today we'll see the draws of the AFCON 2025. Today, Thursday, in Johannesburg, South Africa. So that's giving you a highlight of who Nigerian Super Eagles might possibly face. Alright, so beside the masthead, we have poor display. Fans want Joshua to beat Southgate. That's on page 3. Page 3 also have the story. It says Spain will retire Cruz. Joselu thoughts Germany. And page 3 then have also the story of Ronaldo Portugal Euro hero. Then page 8 have the story on Man United told to pay £47 million for Boniface. And page 2 where the story continues also on page 7, where we have all you need to know about Falcons Army for Paris Olympics. And then it says the kicker there says team departs for Spain camp today, Thursday, the 4th of July 2024. All right, beside that we have below that we have page 6, Port Harcourt boy Finidi fired up for Rivers job. And page 6 now have Arsenal snub Osimhen and mid fee slash. Below that we have Broja on Chelsea's exit route. And finally page 4 we have Slot handed Salah Endo post. All right, so back here in the studio, let's discuss the Falcons should be on their routes now to Spain, and looking at why Randy's list, we see a lot of superstars or current former stars on his list. But I want to also note that he has 2 home-based players on his list. You have from Nasarawa Amazon, we have Jumoke, and from Rivers Angels, he has Ademola. So, how do we see their performance in this Paris Olympics 2020?
We can't say now until they get to the Olympics because they'll be playing against the likes of Brazil,
Brazil,
Spain,
yeah.
and Japan. I don't think that's any easy group for anyone to be placed in. Even if they put the Super Eagles in that group, we cannot be discussing how do we think their performance is going to be going by the names of the teams. But I want to give them the benefit of doubt, seeing what they've done in the last World Cup, where nobody gave them a chance against what's it called, North Ireland, Canada, and Australia, and they came out of the group. And the coach have also decided to pick players that are doing well in their various clubs and are also very young. They also have 3 standby players, if I'm not mistaken, in case because they are given that window to have 3 standby players. So, but if you know the team very well, you see that he is working with basically the players that he has been working with for over some time, except for the likes of Onome B and Francis Odega. Yeah, who he came out to say the somebody from the NFF was trying to force on him. You understand, and which was bringing out a lot of troubles. And like we said the last time we were on the show with the guest from Swan, who says the NFF needs to do better because every now and then informations come out from their camp from one way or the other, and they keep coming out to say it's not true, and you and I know there's no smoke without fire. So, and the reason why most times they don't want a very firm foreign coach is because they need somebody that they can tell what to do. But Waldrum, I don't think, is one person that he can control, and he has picked a team that he believes he'll be able to work with, and nobody can force anybody on him. Because one of the papers I read here, and maybe saying Marta is going with Brazil, they are trying to use it to honor her. She's retiring, so she's saying that she has given a slot to honor her with one. So the man picked players who he believes will do well for him, and they are on their way right now to Spain to start their campaign, and I believe they will do well.
All right. Indeed, our hope and belief is that they would definitely do it. Comrade Soko, just to stick on the same storyline, we have established here that there is a whole lot of controversy trailing the award drum list. But for me, I want to ask, given the statement that is alleged to AB, who says to her coach, Wardrum, that you should come and say it to my face. Do you not think that, given all of this back and forth controversy, that these selected squad that are on their way to Paris are technically disciplined enough to face their opponents over there? Hello, comrade.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Godwin. I will toe the line of Mr. Rafiki on installing the virtue of our coach, Mr. Wardrobe, and he has proved to be someone that is firm and believes in his own ideology. It's not a coach that can be pushed around. Nevertheless, I'm not going to say that this controversy is going to affect the team's performance in Paris. I'm a little bit scared of the group we're in. That group is a group of heads. We have established teams in that group. We have Japan, we have Brazil, and we have another very good team. So I'm even more scared of the group than our performance. So nevertheless, nothing is impossible for us to do. On the comments by Evie, I think she's totally out of line. In as much as Brazil is taking matter to the Olympics, it is the prerogative of the coach to make that decision whether to honor you or not to honor you. Personally, before all this bra, I would have thought that taking stars like Ibi and Odega is going to give leadership and direction to the team. But the way and manner in which she has gone about this whole thing has eroded that thought from me. I think the team will do better without them as a group. Thank you very much, Mr. Godwin.
All right, so let's move ahead a little bit away from the Falcons, where we'll now talk about Finidi. So it's just few weeks or few days after losing his spot as the Super Eagles head coach. This yesterday he has been unveiled as the new coach for Rivers United, and it says Finidi thrilled to open new chapter at Rivers United. Mr. Raphael, what do you think he's doing best, or he can do better at Rivers United?
Congratulations to him on his appointment as the Rivers United Football Club coach. I think that's the chapter I should have opened after Enyimba and not the Super Eagles. Honestly speaking, because there, either you like it or not, there are sometimes a motivational speaker will talk to you. You won't know when you go and stand in front of a lion and forget that lion is not even a dog. There are some dogs that you stand in front of when they're done with you. Only you ask yourself, what was I doing there? So when there are some jobs that you know that is more than you, and you don't just jump at it because you think it's your time. Like our the slogan Emiloko. You won't jump at it because you think it's your time. You know when it's time. There are some coaches and players that they want to sign them to a particular club, and they tell you, I don't think it's right for me to move yet. Let me stay and establish myself a bit before I move. I think after the Enyimba success, if he still wanted to stay with Enyimba to see if the first season was a fluke or not, he would have done that. Not jump into a Super Eagles job that everybody's eyes is on. Unlike Enyimba, that is not that what will I call it, much of a big deal. Let me put it that way. Permit me to put it that way. But like I said, I congratulate him for taking up the Rivers United job, and hope that he will do the same thing. Now we're about to watch if we are going to have the same success story he had with Enyimba, with that of Rivers United, and then we can go on from there to say, okay, he has improved from here to this. Because if you ask me, he still coached Enyimba to a particular level before the season ended. Do you understand me? So some part of the results also can also be traced back to him. So now he's with Rivers United. Let's see where he goes from there.
All right. So just in addition to your view or your wish to Finidi comrade, I just want to find out just this online in line with that. Today we'll be knowing the stand for the Super Eagles team in the Morocco 2025 AFCON, which we hold from the December 21st to January 18th, making it the first time in the history of AFCON where the competition or the championship is played during festive period, where we'll see the game being played through the Christmas festive period and then into the new year. Well, what's your pick, or what's your take? Which group or what country sides are you seeing alongside Nigeria?
Thank you very much, Mr. Ebuka. Just to touch on the Finidi George, I want to start by congratulating him on his new job at Rivers United. I need to add that I am usually disappointed that he failed with the Super Eagles team, because I was one of his backers. I really wanted him to succeed, because I felt that we have that foundation already due to our performance in just concluded AFCON. So all we needed was continuity. He was there with the team. He saw tactics used by our former coach. So I was surprised when he got the job. He started making some very, very strange decisions. As Mr. Rafiki said, I think he was probably overwhelmed by the enormity of the job. He couldn't live up to what was expected of him. I think he was overwhelmed. On the AFCON seeding today, I think, I don't know if Nigeria is part of the teams, the powerhouses. I think we're part of the powerhouses.
Yes, we're in one.
So I think we are going to have a favorable group, because sometimes the way they do this seeding, I think it's based on ranking, pot A and pot be and see there just like that. They seed it. So when they seed it, we are likely to get probably teams that are not well ranked, and I think I don't see us having problems with this grouping and this seeding today. So I believe that it's going to be favorable. That is not to say that it's going to be a walkover on our part, because we can see our World Cup qualifiers where we are struggling with teams such as Zimbabwe and Benin in our group. So it's not going to be just a walk in the park. So I think that the seeding is going to be well and it's going to be favorable. Thank you, Mr. Ebukata.
All right. Thank you so much, Comrade Soko. Still staying with the Paris Olympic, we would be diving a bit into the track and field now. And we have a rising star, I think all the way from Jamaica, if I get that correctly, by name Ankara Nogent. This person is more or less one of the biggest threats to Toby Amusu. That is how I see it. So, Comrade Soko, what is your take? She's doing excellently well. She did excellently well at age grade level, and have competed at so many national events, coming up with some impressive timing or timeline. And they are really rooting for her to be one of the top contenders against the Nigerian Ford, which is Toby Amusu for gold. Do you see her as a threat?
Okay, thank you very much. I think I'll be a fool to eliminate the threat posed by her. Antecedents have proven that the Jamaicans are really, really good in track and field. So if we're going to have a challenger in this event, it's going to come from the Jamaicans. So this rising star, I believe she's going to be a threat to our own Toby Amusu. But that notwithstanding, Toby Amusu has performed at the world level. She has proved that she can be able to live up to par. So sometimes when it comes to the competition itself, sometimes excitement, so burst of energy, probably inexperience comes into play, and sometimes the athletes don't perform as they should. But I believe that Toby Amusu does not fall in that category. She has seen it all when it comes to hurdling. So I believe that she's going to perform very, very well, and she's going to make the country very, very proud. She just needs to keep her head held very, very, very high. Thank you very much, Mr. Cole.
All right, thank you, Mr. Comrade Soko. Mr. Ralph, you just heard what Comrade said. Do you think our track and field athletes are prepared for Paris?
I think one of the places where Nigeria has excelled has been track and field. Aside from your weightlifting and what have you, boxing in the past and the likes, it's mostly track and field. That's where most of us always look out for to watch them run. Toby Amusu was not too long ago invited to Jamaica for an invitational race, and she won in the same Jamaica. And I'm sure the lady in question was also part of that race. If at all she wasn't there, she Toby Amusu, Toby Express, like we call her, was also part of that race. Like Comrade Soko said, let's not get over our head, because the Olympic has a special spirit. We know Toby Amusu is a world record holder and also has won the Diamond League, I think 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. God being on her side, they say God is for everybody, but I say God being on her side, and she's fit and is able to keep her head down and know that this race is something that can be taken at any point in time. Do you understand? You can't, they say pride comes before a fall. You can't begin to shout about the whole thing. So, but I believe that she will do well when the time comes. She couldn't even take part in the hurdles in the African invitational tournament that took place in, I think, Cote d'Ivoire, Cameroon, if I'm not mistaken. She couldn't take part because she was down with flu or something. So we just pray that she's fit, she's well, when the Paris Olympic are in place. I want to touch on the the AFCON qualifiers. First, I don't know why we can't have a steady date for AFCON. One time is January. The next time you're hearing now it's in December. Teams in Europe are complaining about you taking their players in January. Now you're going to take your players in December. Do you understand me? So I think CAF needs to find a ground where they can play these tournaments, especially during the break period, like the Euros are doing at the moment. Now we are talking about who is Nigeria going to face, or Nigeria at the moment, until we get a serious-minded coach and the NFF is serious. Anybody Nigeria faces now, every one of us, our hearts will be pounding. The only thing that Nigeria has succeeded in doing is escaping from the likes of Senegal, Egypt, Cote d'Ivoire, Tunisia, Algeria, Cameroon, Mali, South Africa, DR Congo, and Ghana. Because those are the teams that are seeded in pot 1 of the qualifiers. But who says we cannot meet teams like Cape Verde, Burkina Faso, Guinea, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Zambia, or you play the likes of Congo, Kenya, Comoros, Togo, who are doing well, or you play the likes of even Lesotho that we couldn't get a win from. Do you understand me? So
Guinea-Bissau.
Guinea-Bissau. Do you understand? So it just begs to show that we have really dropped to the point that we are now praying for them to give us teams that we'll be able to play with and qualify. Mind you, we played in the qualifiers where we had Cameroon for a World Cup qualifier where we had Cameroon and Zambia, and we came out tops. And we've never, Nigeria, I don't think Nigeria has ever played in a group that has a small team. We've always met big teams and always found a way to come out. And that's why I still say today, I don't know why we sacked Coach Gonero, because whoever he puts in his group, he always qualifies and we still have a game or two left. So let's just hope that the what's it called, that we get our acts together. Let's not look at the group. We can get anybody on the group, and I hope when we get our acts together, we'll be ready to face anybody on the group.
All right, so just let's go a little bit away from all this, and then let's talk about the presidential Federation Cup that we saw the finals last weekend between Abia Warriors and Kanami Warriors, where surprisingly Kanami Warriors came out.
Why is it surprisingly?
A whole lot of persons are.
Why is it surprisingly? Yes.
Abia Warriors.
Yes, actually.
To win the game, but Economy Warriors came from back and defeated the other Warriors. So this was a battle between Warriors.
The two Warriors. Now, I think you asked last week, and I think I stuck my neck with Abia Warriors, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But football is not mathematics. It's not 1 + 1. Anything can happen. And Economy Warriors, after 3 decades, they are back on the podium, winning this one. Congratulations to them. I hope they will not disappear after winning this trophy. Do you understand? But something very significant happened that day, which is it just shows, like we always say, we are not always on point about details. Because on that day, the wrong goalkeeper was giving the player, goalkeeper of the tournament, and was giving the money and whatever. And I think days later, whatever, they were sending in text to return it. That is not him. That is supposed to be the goalkeeper of the tournament. It just begs to show that we are not, I don't know. These things are not rocket science. You hear, okay, we're talking about records now. Copa America is going on. Euro is going on. People know that Ronaldo has played, Ronaldo has played 20 shots or thereabouts. Messi has played 7 shots. Both of them have not scored. Ronaldo has played 60 free kicks in how many tournaments and has only scored 1. Somebody is there keeping records to know these things. But is just a small league just between these two people, and we cannot tell from we can't tell this from that. I think it begs to say that there are some things that we are not ready for yet. We're not ready for yet. The tournament was a good one. We got good results, shockers here and there. Like I told you, maybe because they were playing on neutral ground, I heard the club was complaining that maybe because they were not playing in the front of their home fans, that's why they didn't get good results. It just shows to tell you that those people are not serious. They're not serious. It was a good tournament, and kudos to Economy Warriors.
All right. So thank you, comrade. I know you followed through with that match, and you saw, or I don't know, I can't remember your prediction. Whether if you predicted that Abia Warriors were going to win or Economy Warriors were going to win, but it was a shocker for a whole lot of others, like me, that we were like rooting for Abia Warriors to win, and then
Why were we all rooting for Abia Warriors?
and then comrade,
Okay.
there's also
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Godwin. I actually gave it to Economy Warriors of Borno because I believe that they had the pedigree. They did very well in the past, and in this kind of competitions, you cannot overwrite this experience. They have won the Federation Cup. I think this will make it their third time, and in 2001 they were the finalists. So I think at that stage, Economy Warriors had more experience and they had the pedigree. But the star of that particular game was their midfielder, I think Salisu, who scored both goals in both halves. So he was the star of that particular game. And I believe that these are the kind of games that we should have scouts. Our NFF should send scouts and source for indigenous players. So I think, as Mr. Raphael said, the NFF needs to do more, and the federation needs to do more, especially when it comes to record keeping. That old debacle of awarding awards to the wrong player, I think at this stage it is totally unacceptable. So thank you, Mr. Ibuka, and kudos to Economy Warriors.
all right, so let's move a little bit away from Nigerian football and then move to Cameroon, where there have been fresh allegations emerging against Eto, as now there has been a charge that he has dual citizenship, and someone with a dual citizenship cannot be the president of the FA in Cameroon. So now they have the former Barcelona attacker is now faced with fresh investigations against him.
I don't know why people do all these things. I don't know why. When he was winning laurels for them, from the Olympics to the AFCON, nobody saw him as a non-Cameroonian, and I just think it's just foul play that is happening there, just because they are not in concordance with whatever is going on. As the FA chairman, he wants this, the sports minister or whatever sports ministry wants that. So I think they should learn to fight in that line instead of going to the personal ground of trying to say the person is not from Cameroon. He's not from Cameroon. Can you roll back the years of what this young man has done for the country called Cameroon? How many of our players in Nigeria, for example, have dual citizenship? We have some of them not even dual. What do they call it? If it's four, what do you call it? Because we have people like Olise right now, who is going to play for France, who has four via both of his parents, English, Algerian, Nigerian, and French. Do you understand? And we have some of them who have three like that. What do you come and say about them? Just because he's not in tandem with you at the moment, you have a disagreement and you come. I know one of our presidential aspirants one time was told that he cannot run for president of Nigeria because he's not Nigeria. That when they were cutting the country, they now somehow cut him into the country. All those kind of it's funny. I think you should find a way to meet at a meeting point, so that when the elephants fight, it is the grass that suffer. So all this, you're not from Cameroon, you have dual citizenship, we've gone past that. After all, we had a player, it's funny, we had a player who was stripped, who came to AFCON and was the highest goal scorer in AFCON, and then we were told that he had not stripped. Yes, he was stripped of whatever it is, and then he didn't fully switch from Spain to Equatorial Guinea, and then he came and played the full tournament, played the qualifier, played the tournament, came top, and he gave him an award as the highest goal scorer. we joke with a lot of things in this continent, in Africa, and then in Nigeria.
It is well, comrade. Do you think this issue is rampant all over Africa? Because we also have accounts of Nigeria where we have the NFF and the Minister of Youth and Sports clashing in one way or the other. Now we have in the account of the Cameroonian FA where the FA presidency is in one kind of issue or the other, because they think Samuel Eto'o, who has played in Spain for over 50 years, if I'm not mistaken, has a dual citizenship, and because he has his bearing dual citizenship, he cannot be the FA president of the Cameroon Sports Association.
Okay, to start with, that is actually preposterous. As Mr. Raphael rightly said, why is this coming now? Why is it coming out now? When he successfully hosted the 2021 AFCON, these whole allegations did not come up. Why is it coming now? Also, I want to draw our attention to this interference. The issue of the sports ministry interference in African football, it's not something that started today. Right from when I was young, I have been hearing of FIFA trying to sanction Nigeria because of interference of the government in footballing, which is against the rules. So I think the interference of the ministry is not something that started today. But the truth is that you cannot actually stop the interference, because most of the funding for this federation comes from the sports ministry. Nevertheless, they should restrict their activities to just funding. They should leave the running of the footballing side of these federations to the federations. This will lead to less friction in the day-to-day running of the activities of football in Africa. Thank you, Mr. Ebuka.
All right, thank you so much, Comrade Soko. Mr. Rafa, coming to you right in the studio. There is one that just caught my attention here, coming from Paul Pogba, who is saying that I am not finished. I will fight for my career. Can you help me make sense of it?
He has so many allegations.
He's still being investigated at the moment, and for I think a doping ban, if I'm not mistaken. And if he's found wanting, he'll be banned for 4 years. I don't know where he want to come back from after 4 years, except maybe he'll be playing non-league football competitively just to keep himself active. But with the club, be able to keep you for that long, and of course, because it involves money. Let's not forget the case of Benjamin Mendy, who was relieved of his job in Manchester City when he was involved in some sort of allegations. Do you understand? They didn't even wait for, how will I put it, was it up to months before they say we can't work with this player again? So I don't know what Pogba's case will be for 4 years, saying I'm not finished, unless maybe he knows the verdict already.
We see the likes of Ronaldo at the age of 39 still playing. Pogba is just 30 or 31. So adding 4 years to his age.
Now this is where the argument comes from.
Yeah.
Ronaldo didn't have 4 years break. Ronaldo didn't have 4 years break. The best self was I think Ronaldo de Lima, who was injured. I think he went a whole year without playing football. A whole year, and then came back for the 2002 World Cup and just went all the way to the final and won it, and even won the Ballon d'Or that year. That was due to injury. And then when you're injured, you're still being kept by the club and you're going through some sort of training and the likes. We're talking about somebody who's going to, if found guilty, is going to leave football for 4 years, active football for 4 good years. And you know what that kind of things can do to players. Some of them come back from injury and they don't have the same form that they used to have before. Not to not talk of you who is leaving the sport actively for good 4 years.
All
Yeah,
right.
so he can actually live at the top competitive level, but he
That's
still
why I
has
said.
his personal training,
That's
his
why I said they
personal
can do
play,
non-league,
yeah,
non-league
non-league
playing. When you do
performance.
non-league playing,
Exactly.
when there's nothing at stake. I don't know the level you know. Pogba has played in the highest of highest level.
Yeah, he has
He's a
played
World
for
Cup winner.
national team.
He's
He
a
has
World
played
Cup winner.
for Manchester City, Manchester
Manchester
United.
United.
He has played for
Do
Juventus,
you understand?
to and through
Now you're
Juventus.
asking him to go and play non-league football and hope that non-league football will keep him alive for 4 years. You will just hear one day like Odewingi, we will just come and tell he has found love in golf. So I don't think, I just pray it doesn't go through that route. I just pray that he's not found wanting, because Pogba is a very exciting footballer. Everybody loves to watch, and I know France misses him at the moment. Most of these things, out of youthful exuberance, we get ourselves into trouble. Like I said, I pray that is innocent of whatever he has been alleged to have done.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Raf. Comrade, you have seen the whole argument in the studio just for one star player, but doping allegation is not a main deal at all for any player, most especially one of his pedigree and caliber. But we've seen the likes of Ronaldo, Messi, who are playing top of at whatever level, well disciplined, and a whole lot that surrounds this. With Pogba coming to say, I am not finished, do you think he's shooting himself?
Okay, I don't think he's actually shooting himself. I think he knows why, only he knows why he made that particular statement. I believe he's still trying to put himself out there. But there was something you said that caught my attention. You mentioned Ronaldo and Messi, and you mentioned discipline. There's actually need for these professional players to be disciplined. At that level, you should not be having issues with doping at that level. We had a situation where Fagioli of Italy, I think that particular player, I think he escaped the ban, if I'm not wrong. But you also saw Tonali being banned for, I think, a period of 8 months. I think the investigation started from when he was at AC Milan, and it came over to his new club at Newcastle. And we're also seeing the case presently, though it's still being investigated, of I think Lucas Paqueta of Brazil and West Ham. Yes, Paqueta, and it's being investigated for, I think that's not doping incident. That is
Gambling,
breaching sports betting regulation. I think there were irregular bets in his home country. So I think that I don't see escaping that.
10 years,
also going to face
10 years.
Also going to face a very, very lengthy ban. So the point I'm trying to make is that at that level of professional football, these players actually need to do better. They need to copy the Ronaldos and the Messis, because after all is said and done, these are the role models. When Ronaldo came to Manchester United, Greenwood was having a clash of ego with Ronaldo. Somebody that you will sit down and study, you will having clash of egos with a player of Ronaldo's caliber. Look at where you ended up. You are ending up playing in Getafe, with all due respect to Getafe. So these professional players need to actually do better and actually be willing to learn for more established role models. Thank you, Mr. Godwin.
All right, thank you, comrade. Just to let you know that Juventus are yet to comment on Pogba's ban, and he joins Juventus in 2022, and by the time this ban will be over, his
Contract
will be expired. So I don't know where he will be starting from. But that's just like Rafa said, he continue playing non-competitive games. So let's move ahead, and we are now in the Euros 2024, and we see a whole lot happening in the Euros, where we see France having almost a last minute win over Belgium, and we have Portugal, the star man for the Euros 2024, Cristiano Ronaldo, missing a penalty in the added time of the match, and which later played on and ended in a 3-0 penalty kicks. And then we see the other ones like the Netherlands doing so well to win their match against Romania 3-0. So, gentlemen, now let's discuss where we saw the first timers, the Georgia. Losing to Georgians, losing to the Spanish team 4-1. So let's know what's your overview of the last rounds of matches that have been played at the Euros 2024.
Okay. Thus far, my heart goes with the Georgians because I was rooting for them. Somehow I was telling someone, I said I wish we had a surprise package in the Euros, enough of the what do you call it, usual corporates. Now you see France playing Portugal, you see Spain playing Germany, you see England playing Switzerland, who I want to believe are the surprise package of this tournament. Unlike the last time that Denmark came and everybody was rooting for Denmark, I think the new boys in the team now, or in the club now, is Switzerland. And then you have Turkey going to play the Netherlands. The tournament has been very good. It has its up and down, highs and lows. At the point on the app X, people are saying which is better, AFCON, which had more drama, AFCON or what's it called, the Euros. And honestly speaking, I will go with the AFCON any day, anytime, with all the dramas that we experienced during the AFCON. But the boys have been separated from the men, I would say, and we are going into the quarterfinal stages. But in the if I want to point out a particular game, mind you, most of these teams in the Euros have not really lived up to expectations.
Okay.
Is it England that is playing the very drowsy football where you watch, you want to sleep, or France that don't know what they are doing at the moment, either left or right? Holland found themselves when they played Romania, and then Germany, we're not still sure if they are in the tournament or not. Spain have decided this is what we want to do and they are going through with it. Do you understand? And then Portugal, with all their stars in place, are still not able to get clear results. That it took a penalty shootout to be able to send out what's it called, Slovakia, out of the tournament. Who thought that Slovakia would be rubbing shoulders with Portugal? That's what football has become of these days. It took a penalty shootout, and to the heroics of the goalkeeper, because that was why Ronaldo was crying, and a lot of people are saying, he's a mommy's boy, because the mom was also crying at the stand. Do you get? So why is he crying? And you know, when you see yourself, you carry the burden of a team on your shoulder, and you had the one opportunity to carry that team through, and you fail them. Emotions can take over at that point in time. You know, France won the Euros in 2016, and Ronaldo didn't get the opportunity to be on the pitch when that happened because he was injured, and when he was injured, he cried. I think Ronaldo knows how to cry very well.
At the sideline, assisting the coach.
And he decided to be an assistant coach at the sideline. But thus far,
so thank you. So we just you made mention of the fresh those teams that appeared for the first time, that Georgia, Austria, and they are all out. Yeah, I think. I don't know, but okay. So just to get your prediction on the next round of the Euros 2024, we have the quarterfinals where Spain will be playing against the host Germany. And mind you also that Spain has not won any of their games that they faced off with Germany in any.
Or rather, the host team.
Yes, the host country in any of these international stand. And also we have the game against between Portugal and France, and England against Switzerland. That match where France wants Joshua to beat Southgate.
They are very wicked though. You know, when I saw the Joshua, I thought it was maybe somebody that was bearing Joshua. I had to go and open the message and saw Anthony Joshua.
And then finally we have Netherlands, Turkey. So what's your prediction before we go over to Comet?
Spain, Germany, because I like the whole fairy tale kind of football. So I'll give it to Germany. I don't know how that's going to happen, but I'll give it to Germany. Then for what's it called? For France, Portugal. Like I said, the two of them have not decided what they want to do with their football yet, so they are still. But anyways, I'll give that to France, maybe because of my boy Saliba who is there. I'll give that to France. England, Switzerland. England are not playing anything that anybody wants to watch. They've just been dragging themselves through the games. They've not been playing anything that anybody wants to watch. So I'm giving it straight to Switzerland, please. I'm sorry. Then the last but not the least, which is
So it's not coming home this year.
no, it's not coming home. There's no home is going to. Then Turkey, Netherlands. I don't know what other Gula will be able to pull out from his sleeve to be able to get them this one, but I was taking with Netherlands on this one.
All right, comrade, over to you. Just a quick rundown of your view on the stance right now in the Euros 2024. So I want to hear yours and then we'll get your predictions also.
Okay, thank you very, very much. I want to start by talking about the Portugal game, where we saw Ronaldo shedding tears, where he was crying profusely. There was something that caught my attention in that particular behavior. There is a life lesson to be learned from that particular behavior. We need to understand that this is a player who won the Euros in 2016. When it comes to the Euros, it's a tournament he has won before. But at that stage, having lost a penalty, which can happen to anybody, you could see the reaction proved that this is a player that is not resting on his laurels. He is a player that has passion at that level. I have seen Boyken talking about the passion of players after soccer games. They start smiling, they start exchanging pleasantries like they have not just lost the match. So yes, I need to really give Ronaldo kudos for that particular act. He showed that he has passion for the team. So on let me delve into my prediction straight away, because that was really the outstanding part of the whole group last round fixtures for me. So let me just delve into my predictions. For Spain against Germany, I'm going to go with Mr. Rafiki. I'm going to give it to Germany, because Germany is a team that is unpredictable. They are able to lift their game depending on the opponents they face. So Germany, I give that to Germany. For Portugal against France, my spirit is telling me France, but my body is saying Portugal. So I'm going to go with my body.
So go with your soul.
Position. So I'm going to Switzerland. England has been really poor. They have been really disappointing. Something I have noticed about the English FA and the England team, it's all about media hype. When you come to the players itself, they are not doing more than the average players in Switzerland. So I think I'm going to give that particular game to Switzerland based on the past terrible performances of England in this tournament. The Netherlands, Turkey has proven to be the underdog of this tournament, and they have been doing very well. So I'm going to still tip Turkey needs to progress on this. I think they are still going to conquer the Netherlands in that particular fixture. Thank you, Mr. Ebuka.
All right, thank you so much, Comrade Soko. Please, I'm still sticking to you. We are actually running short of time here. What would be your prediction on the quarterfinal on Copa America?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Godwin. First off, let me give a little bit of overview. We need to understand that both hosts of that particular tournament have been knocked out, which is USA and Mexico. So that's something that we should take note of. Or straight on my prediction, like Turkey is the underdog of the Euros. Ecuador is proving to be the underdogs of the Copa America. So, and Argentina has not really, though they have won all their games, they have not proven to be really prolific in front of goals. They have been struggling in some games. But I'm going to give Argentina to edge that particular game. On Canada and Venezuela, I see Venezuela winning that particular fixture. Uruguay, Brazil. This is a very, very difficult one. So I'm going to give it to Uruguay because Uruguay, they have some very established stars, and they have proven that they have that synergy to really improve the way Germany can improve in the Euro. So I'm going to give Uruguay this particular fixture. Colombia, Panama. On paper, Colombia is the better team in this particular fixture, and I don't think Panama is going to pull an upset in this particular game. Thank you, Mr. Gordon.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen. It's been worth the while this morning with you all in the studio and virtually Comrade Abraham Suku. And to you viewers, thank you for being there. That's all we can take for today's show. Today's now streaming show. Please don't forget to tune in tomorrow for more news and incitement and other forms of updates. And to you, my co-anchor, it's wonderful being with you again.
Thank you so much, and a very big thanks to our viewers out there.
All right, Comrade Abraham and Mr. Raphael. It's always a very interesting moment to always be with you on the show.
Thank you very much.
So much. All right, viewers. All right, on this day in history, July 4th, 1826, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, two of America's founding fathers, passed away on the same day. So sad. So until next time, I am Chukwebuka Ike, and this is Now Streaming signing off. Bye-bye.